Let's bring in one of the key lawmakers who attended last night's gathering, Texas Congressman Michael Burgess, a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee and chairman of the subcommittee on health. Congressman, any progress to report?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on. And can I also just say your coverage of the F-16 accident out at Andrews has kind of captured everyone's attention this morning. We're all glad that the injuries seem to be manageable, and that's great news. Yep. And thank you for delivering it to us.
Absolutely.
Last night, I was there as a part of the authorizing committee that worked on one of the bills that was eventually put together to become the American Health Care Act. So my role in that meeting was to represent the people on my committee as well as the people back home in Texas, but people who'd sat through that 28-hour and voted multiple times in that 28-hour markup we had a few weeks ago. I'm also on the Rules Committee, so I also had an 18-hour opportunity to deal with the bill in the Rules Committee a week or so later. Look, this was never intended to be the end product. It is not perfect. I will stipulate that it's not perfect, but it is the key that gets us through the door. There are problems across the country today with the Affordable Care Act. We see in Tennessee that the two senators are worried that about a third of their state has no insurers. We see the Democratic governor of Minnesota pumping money into the exchanges in his state because they're at risk of going away. The Affordable Care Act as written is not working, and it needs serious repair. So the reconciliation bill that the House of Representatives had voted on in 2015 was the basis for our reconciliation bill this year. Remember, that bill in the last Congress passed both the House and the Senate, passed muster with the Byrd rule over in the Senate, but was vetoed by President Obama. That was our starting point this year. People said they wanted more added to the repeal bill that we did last year. That has been accomplished over the last several months, and now we are where we are. I still think it's a good product. I think I'm glad people are talking about it. I'm glad people are pushing ideas out there. I think that's important. But at the end of the day, remember, this is not the final analysis. This is not the end of the road. This is the beginning of the process. This bill is the key that gets us through the door, over to the Senate to let them work on things that concern them, and then it's back to the House to be further refined. It's a long process, not a short process.
There's an article in the Associated Press that says your party seems adrift and divided over how to move forward. Would you agree with that assessment?
No, is the short answer to your question, but thank you for asking. What I see is people who are earnestly involved, they are genuinely concerned, but again, I go back to the fact that the basis for this bill that we have before us in the House today was the reconciliation bill. I think there were 213 returning Republican members who had voted for the reconciliation bill in December of 2015. So it's not like this was new information, and certainly people did not seem to be divided in December of 2015. We now have a president who will sign it. He will not veto the bill, as was what happened to the last Congress. I think it's incumbent upon us to get it done.
The president is, closing in on the end of his first 100 days with, frankly, not a lot of legislative accomplishments to point to. He's certainly issued an awful lot of executive orders. But do you think that there can be some kind of, progress that is going to get the president, get the Congress cheering about what has been done so far in this Congress?
No, the short answer to your question is yes. Will it happen? I don't know, but certainly I'm going to do everything within my power. I do think, the president made a commitment, and I want to help him deliver on that commitment. Obviously, I've got people at home that are concerned about the state of affairs of the Affordable Care Act now, primarily patients, doctors as well. We need to fix those problems. The president has committed to doing that. I believe him, and I think it's our job to help him get that done.
It is going to be fascinating to watch. Congressman Michael Burgess, Republican of Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you.